Okay, so I've had a number of requests about assembling the helmets and how I put them together. And so today we're going to start the series on building a helmet from the basic helmet cap and then all the different attachments that you can put onto it. When you're designing your pattern, you're going to need a couple measurements. You want to know what you want from your forehead to the back of your head. And this is the cap. This is the cap we're designing right here. You want it to come down right about there. And you want it to come down to your medulla oblongata. That's the base of your skull, where the spine meets your skull. So you want to add a couple inches onto there to make sure that it covers full well. And that you've got room for your padding and the pieces that go inside and the thickness of the leather. And then you're going to want to know what you want from one ear to the next, the center of your ear to the center of the other ear. And then you want to know the wraparound. Okay, and that's this measurement and this measurement. Okay, so you're just going to wrap it around your head and you're going to get that measurement. I've already taken my pattern, cut it out, I've punched my holes, and I just wanted to show you these are the pieces that fill in on the inside are the pieces that I cut out. So you only need about a square foot and a half of leather to just do this basic helmet cap. Okay. As you can see, I've already punched the holes with my mini punch and my mallet. And what I did is I cut a line all the way around. It's kind of a decorative line, but it also showed me exactly where to punch the holes so that they're all very even in where they're at, because they might not be so even on the pattern. So that line. Now, in lieu of cutting a line or carving a line, you just make yourself a little scribe and scribe a line. If you don't want to do the whole permanent line thing, I'm gonna get the I'm gonna take this piece and I'm gonna put it in some hot water, 150 degrees, as I showed you before on how to wet form leather, and then I'm going to show you how I form this in my steel pot. This is a regular Army steel pot, and then I just put it in this basket to kind of keep it from rolling over when I'm forming it. I've got it pretty well saturated here. It's in case you were wondering, this is about 10 to 12 ounce leather. It's fairly thick, about 1/4 of an inch all the way around. Now, if you don't have a helmet to form this in, you can just attach these pieces with rivets here, place this on your head, and actually form it on top of your head. I just like to form it. I've got a helmet, so I just go ahead and do that. So we're just going to set it in there carefully. So we put it in there, and I'm gonna take my pestle here, and I'm gonna form it into the helmet. And I just rub it around to get a nice form on it. And I'll actually take my pieces and kind of form them on the edge there while I'm about it. It's formed into the helmet. I'm just going to pull it on out of there. When you're using the double cap rivets, they actually have a kind of a snap. When you put the cap on, it snaps into place and holds it in some cases if it's not too loose. Okay, so we're just popping these caps on after we get them set in there. And they actually hold this together pretty well in such a way that you don't have to set the rivets. And I'm just putting 4 of them in. And the other thing is, when I put my inside pieces in, I want to be able to take that out and put it back through again. So that's where I go in with that. Now, as you can see, this has a lot of extra room in it, and that's because these pieces are going to take up about a 1/2 inch on the inside between the two of them. And then you actually want to leave a little room for padding. We're going to buff down the edges. I'm just going to buff them down while this is still moist so that they're not rough and sharp. Otherwise, I got to take some sandpaper to them and kind of sand them off. Now, if I wanted to like make this helmet look like it was battle worn, I'd take my tool here and I'd punch pieces in and I'd scrape on it and I'd put little divots in that I'd then, when I have my other wet pieces in, I'm going to make it look like a sword just went up against the... Yeah, that's the kind of stuff you can do to this. Let's go ahead and flare these out just slightly on the bottom, because it is a helmet after all, and we want it to flare out. We don't want it to cut into our head. Okay. Now this is a good enough shape that I'm probably just going to go ahead and leave it as it is and let it dry, and then we're going to come in with these pieces and put them inside here, and that's the next video. Okay, so yeah, if you like this video and you're interested in seeing the next video on how to assemble your helmet and all the other things you can add to this basic helmet design, like and subscribe. And I just want to take the time now to thank all my new subscribers and all the subscribers that commented and actually wanted to hear about this and see the helmet assembly go on. Thanks.